what I bought.
Luca Nation, this is unacceptable. I have let you guys down. Welcome back to Lucas Tigers and Bronze, the best sports card podcast in the world, bringing you daily news, topics, guests, etc. Cage was just live on the air, and I didn't hit the record button of the Cage's daily brain dump.
Don't.
Okay,
Yes,
so instead of wasting it all, I decided let's hit record and let's get the brain dump live on the air. By the way, an incredible segment. A brain dump is sort of like, hey, Andrew, I missed you all day. We haven't spoken. I have all of these topics intertwined in my brain. Let me tell you. So he comes on here and he says, I don't know if you saw Darren Rovell's tweet, but we've lost more money on gas.
That's right.
And he proceeds to tell me what? Because this isn't just for me. Our audience to take advantage of this.
Well, listen, I love Darren Rovell. I don't like that he leans one way, but I think if you realize which way someone's leaning, you know, their tweets become very informative for what they're worth. Like, you know, last week you could buy a CryptoPunk for like $65,000. You can't get one this week for less than $125,000 because both Ethereum has gone up and the prices of the floor has gone up. But you're probably not going to see him tweeting about that. If they were cut 50% in half, you'd probably see him tweeting about that left and right. But when they double, it's silent. But I'm going to give him credit. Breaking Tees, he tweets about them all the time. You know, it's shirts like this, but this is just a regular baseball shirt. Shirts like, you know, baseball, when something happens in sports and they're relevant, they just immediately, they have a license with the MLB. They put out licensed T-shirts of what just happened. You know, like I was telling Andrew about Carpenter coming to the Yankees and playing 30-something games, and he's got the mustache. You know, no beard, just the stash, because, you know, like Don Mattingly. Very funny audio. I think John Boy posted it when he was at Fenway. Someone in the crowd yelled out in a moment of silence, "You look like a creepy uncle." It was so funny, right?
That's so funny.
It was so funny.
Anyway, they put out a t-shirt called the Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty. But they put out a lot of cool stuff. It's not just about that. They put out a lot of cool things. Whenever something happens in sports, they're always they're on the spot. And Rovell tweeted at 5:00 today, 5 o'clock Eastern time. So you'll probably listen to this a couple hours. You might even be able to get in on this.
Pop-up bagels are the best bagels in the world.
Pop-up bagels. He's got pop-up bagels. Was that Breaking Tees has done NFTs. They're going to do an NFT. And he posted about it. He didn't post it in like a bad way. It was just, hey, you know, like, you know, this is an interesting thing. It's their first ones. And it's just little patches. Like you'd sew on.
Now you're now on Darren Rovell's radar.
But they made
the price drop.
I mean, he tweets about them pretty often because they have good shirts. They do a good job, I think.
Breaking Tees, huh?
Breaking Tee, yeah, Breaking Tee. And so their first NFTs are from the Home Run Derby last night, and they are doing these patches of Soto and J-Rod. And J-Rod has more than Soto because they're doing the total amount of home runs hit. So it's like 50-something and 80-something total. And they're $5. There they are. There you go. So limited edition, you know, J-Rod, Derby champ. Is there anything that goes with this? I have no idea. They're not announcing any type of utility. It's $5, right? It's just one of these, like, you know, the first one that they've done. I just thought it was noteworthy that he was tweeting about it and not in a negative kind of way. And then I rolled into my my PSA order that I got back that I did for a reason, but Andrew didn't let me get to the reason. It was only 5 cards, basically irrelevant, a couple 9s and an 8. The one card that matters that I was trying to get to before Andrew hit record and wanted me to do my brain dump as part of the episode was, I forget what auction house had it. It was PWCC or Golden might have had it. Somebody paid, it might have even been Kuntz. I think Kuntz might have put it in his story. Somebody bought a Darren Rovell autograph. I think it was a PSA 9. Right, it was, you know, the regular auto with a little mini, but it's like signed and the whole deal, right? A Rovell autograph from, I think it was 2015, Allen and Ginter, and it paid a couple $100 for it. It might have been $400 or $500. I don't know. It was definitely not cheap. I immediately went on eBay and found one for $49.99 plus shipping and tax and the whole deal. I paid like $60 all in, and I sent it to eBay and I got a 10. I mean, I sent it to PSA and I got a 10. Sent it to eBay. I got a PSA 10 on it. I got the grade about an hour before we started recording. So
are you going to get it in time for National?
It depends how fast PSA ships it to me. I hope so. That'd be great if I have it there at National. I'll bring my
Are you
Darren
going to
Rovell
double
auto.
auto it, or is he going to sign the slab?
He could sign the slab. It'd be like a double. It'd be like a duel. Or I could sign the slab. That would be an even better duel. Cage and Rovell, dual auto. Oh, yeah. So I was happy about that. I saw that PSA. I mean, it made up for the other grades that were pretty crappy.
So someone bought one of his Allen Ginter 9s on an auction house for like $500-600.
Yeah, it was like
You
$400. Yeah.
You went on eBay. This couldn't dovetail from yesterday's episode any better. You went on eBay. You bought it for $49.99, sent it to PSA, and a gem.
I got a 10. Yeah.
So basically, you're a millionaire.
I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire at all. But there's either in pop 1, pop 2, something like that. There's definitely not a lot of PSA 10 of this 2015. I mean, you know what? When I saw the grade, it renewed my faith in buying on eBay. I'm going to go back and give more positive feedback to that seller. Be like, hey, now.
Not a card many people graded, though.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's it's not exactly something that they're going to be doing any type of control on it. There's no pop control going on the Allen and Ginter Rovell autos.
Real quick, guys. So we're a week away from National. Cigar Night RSVPs have gone out.
Yes.
Check your spam.
No, don't check anything. Don't check anything. I'm going to be the person at the gate at the airport. Are you ready? I'm going to be the person at the airport gate, right, who yells out names and says, you're not going to make the plane if you don't get here. Andrew, you know all about this, right? Because you miss planes. You just don't hear your name being called because you're in a restroom somewhere smoking.
One time I missed the flight, guys, was after VCon, and it was because we had the busiest weekend ever. Someone who was not a dealer and myself brought a ton of VFriends cards, and we were the only ones selling them. I couldn't leave VCon. It was an opportunity.
I mean,
I'm just just understand, when you get to know me, sometimes I'm a bull and I'm like focused like this. I should have just stayed.
It's called tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. I should have just stayed another night and I had a great night's sleep, enjoyed the weekend, and flown back in the morning. Instead, I went through all this stress to catch a flight to Orlando, which is 2.5 hours north of where I am. Paid $400 for a taxi to bring me down.
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
Dumb.
You were going to do the episode from the taxi. Remember that?
Dude, it was the dumbest decision making I had. But honestly, it made me appreciate being a dealer a lot more because you guys work hard. Like I'm thinking about them next week. Cage, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, being able to communicate, talk to people, be pleasant, be on your feet, answer questions, do deals. It's extremely tiring. It's extremely, extremely tiring. So I have, through that weekend, I have a lot of sympathy for the dealers. And I think if you guys are just buyers, not just buyers, but if you're buyers, also understand that by Saturday, Sunday, these guys could be tired. These gals could be tired. So come with a bit more kindness and sympathy. Anyway,
I'm going to be kind to all the dealers. So maybe I'll do tomorrow's episode as the last ditch because I sent out an email to everyone today. Awesome. Who's on our guest list individually, and only 3 people have not responded yet and have not gone through the entire process of the whole night. I've talked to everyone today. You guys know who you are. There's only 3 people, and I mean, some of them, it's only been like 6 hours since I emailed, so I'm not going to call you out. I'm not going to be that person yet, but I have my list, and there are 3 people's names on it, and those 3 people have not got back to me yet. You're in, well, I don't want to say you're in jeopardy yet. It's only been a few hours. I mean,
6 hours. I think that's actually a testament to how engaged our audience really is and how excited they are for
people got back quick and they walked through the process and I helped them out. And here's how you get the ticket. Here's how you do this. Here's where you click. Here's what you're going to need to get in and all that stuff. So we are basically done. Just 3 people. 3 people is all that's left. Fun stuff. So
let me do another one real quick. So SGC subs, guys, we have a system going. It was a little bit, we were figuring it out for the first month. But now it's like a revolving door. You guys have the address, 9170 Glades Road, Boca Raton, Florida, P.O. Box 135. You guys could ship 1 card there. You could ship 100 cards there. It's very simple. I check that every single day. If you put a little note in there, name, phone number, Instagram, just contact info, and what you want us to do with the cards if you have any special instructions. I pick it up every single day. I drop off to SGC on a weekly basis. Our last sub came back in 5 days. I dropped it Monday, got it back Friday. Here's the kicker. You guys don't pay a dime until I have your cars in hand ready to ship back. Or here's what some people do. They consign them through our Whatnot show, have some cards shipped back, some cards consigned, and it pays for the rest of the sub. Something
Hell
to think
yeah.
about. A lot of you have taken advantage of it, but a lot of you guys are new listeners, and I wanted to do you justice. If you have any questions, DM us, email me. I am Andrew Goldberg at gmail.com. That's it. I'm done with the announcements. You're done with your cigar night. Go ahead.
Yeah, except Cigar Night's getting awesome. I can't wait to be there for folks. I'm going to bring some wax to have for people to open while they're smoking cigars. It's going to be a really good time, man. It definitely is. I've purchased you know what? Let's just leave some for surprise. It would leave some for surprises.
Okay.
One more thing I'm not going to be a surprise about, right? Saturday on the main stage, I will be doing a panel with Panini.
You didn't
Me and Jesse Sports Boy, and I don't know who
Jesse
else.
Smollett. You and Jesse Smollett.
No, not that Jesse Smollett, the French actor. No,
that is the funniest Chappelle skit or joke I think I've ever seen. If you
from
guys haven't
Sports
seen it-
Card Nonsense, Jesse. You know.
No. Jesse is funny. Yes, Gio's hilarious. They're a great duo. But Jesse Smollett, Dave Chappelle, Google it. Take 10 minutes. watch
Smollett,
it.
the French actor. He's
Smollett,
French.
yes.
Smollett. Just Smollett, juicy. But I
Where
mean,
did you get rope in Chicago?
we're put out APB. So wait, is it MAGA hat? The black guy wearing a MAGA hat. We need to put out an APB for Kanye.
Where were you going?
For Kanye.
2 a.m. and you were walking to Subway. Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
He's gonna do it way better. I'm not gonna do it. He's gonna do it way better. All right.
At
You're
least he
doing
did
a
it.
panel.
Yeah,
You're gonna do
panel with with Panini. Talk about digital stuff. You name it. It should be interesting. Should be a lot of fun. Let's see what the hell else we got going down in the world today. Home run derby. You want to talk about the home run derby?
Yeah, it's stupid, but here's why.
It's stupid.
Yeah, Julio Rodriguez,
Yes.
81 home runs. Soto, 50.
Yes.
They give him so much time that, like, because Soto hits bombs, he got an extra 30 seconds. And even though he started slow, he won. It didn't even feel like a competition. It was obvious Julio was a better home run hitter that night. And
Okay. So
real quick, no, I'm not done.
Okay.
And Maeda, or whoever the pitcher is for Juan Soto, fired. You're fired. Dude, you do not know how to throw pitches accurately. They were all over the place.
Mejia. I mean,
Mejia.
you made a Hispanic man Japanese somehow. You made him Kenta Maeda. Are you done now?
I love Kenta Maeda.
Okay. So do you like the NCAA tournament?
No, I'm not. No, why?
You like basketball? You don't like March Madness? You don't watch that? You don't
March
like March
Madness is
Madness?
fun. That's fun.
Okay. How about
Here we go.
the NBA, like 7-game series, like the
we've
finals.
entered the courthroom with Cage.
You like those, right? You like those. So what happens if in game 1
Yes.
of the first round of the playoffs,
Yes.
right? The Celtics outscore their opponents by 100 points, and then they outscore them by 100 points in game 2, 3, and 4, and they sweep the Nets out of the place, but they won by 100. Like they are clearly the best team, but the Warriors in their first round, they played against whoever, and they won game 1 by 1 point. They lost game 2 by 50. They won game 3. They basically just eked out 1-point victories in a 7-game series. All right. And they keep doing that. They keep doing that the entire way through. Where
Can I save the audience time?
They just look like I'm not finished. I'm a little diaper baby, and I'm going
on mute.
So just because they're following the rules. They have to beat the opponent that's in front of them, right? It's not a cumulative total of wins or how many points. It is a head-to-head competition, and you move on. Head-to-head, and you move on. J-Rod did not need 32 home runs. He did not need 31 home runs. He beat Seager, I think, in the first round. He had 20-something. Poor guy. He had like the second best round of anyone, and it didn't make a difference. But I guess he should have come in second because he hit all these home runs.
In the playoffs, it actually is cumulative wins. It's first team to 16 wins.
It's not cumulative wins. It's not how they win. Yes. So in the home run derby, it's the first player to 3 wins. Soto got 3, and J-Rod got 2.
Second, in NBA, they have an opponent. Here, there's not really an opponent. It's cumulative total. Who hits the most home runs?
It's not cumulative. So they have an opponent. It's a head-to-head competition.
But
Who has the most home runs? Should we call tennis?
It's not a head-to-head
right?
competition.
Do you watch Rafa Nadal, and all these idiot tennis guys that you like, right?
It would be head-to-head competition if Julio was throwing the ball to Soto and Soto was throwing it to Julio. They're not competing against each other.
No, of course they are. They're head-to-head. They're against each other. Yeah, they have. You don't like that they have different people throwing and batting DP? That's dumb. I understand it.
It's closer
I get
to
it.
swimming, where you're and even swimming is more head-to-head because you have the guy next to you and the guy you're going at the same time.
All right, so like track and field events, right, where like you could throw something, right,
Yes,
or you
that's
do a
actually
high
better.
jump or
Yes.
any of those things, but it doesn't matter, right? The person who had the highest jump in the first round in the heat in the qualifying rounds, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the time. If they set a record in the qualifying rounds, they should win the gold medal.
It should go into it. It should be a part of it.
Okay. They've changed the rules on it a bunch of times. So I'm sure if there's enough backlash, they probably will do something like that. But if you want to, it happens a lot. Vlad Guerrero last year had a humongous round, and it didn't matter. And if you want to, I don't want to get copyrighted or whatever the hell happens, but if you want to spend a couple good minutes, go to YouTube and put in Josh Hamilton home run derby. It is one of the sickest performances I've ever seen. Like, it was the original what you saw last night with J-Rod, but even like on steroids, literally on drugs. And it was amazing, and he didn't win. Often that happens, right? Because these are the rules. I didn't want to go there per se about you watch it. It's stupid. Okay, it's stupid. So now I have to go down that road. I mean, the rules are the rules, right? But wasn't it cool to see the young stars of baseball, or you just still think it's the dumbest thing in the world? Like, you wouldn't leave that saying, "Wow."
Than I imagined him.
Okay. By the way, what's funny about this Julio Rodriguez thing is what I thought you would bring to the table in today's episode of why baseball is silly, right? You just said he's taller than you thought. He's been playing all year. I mean, the dude has 13 home runs, and he's been playing all year. But you haven't seen him. I haven't seen him. You know what's even worse? They interviewed Mookie Betts last night. They interviewed a couple of players last night, and they all said the same thing, which was, this is the first time I'm seeing him in person. This is the first time I'm seeing him in person. It's amazing. That's Mookie Betts. Like, he plays in the league with you. I know it's a different league. It's National League. But you think, yeah, Mookie Betts is like, that's the first time I've seen him it's the first time I've seen him in person. Well, the Dodgers haven't played Seattle yet. You know, and he's a young kid, right? So, I mean, but that in and of itself is, he plays in the Great Northwest. He plays in Seattle, you know, and it takes a real generational type player, a la Griffey, who was there last night taking pictures and stuff, to matter and for people to tune in. Shoot.
You know how you go to these, you follow like Brady on Instagram, and you'll see it like the Kentucky Derby. He's with a photo of like Jordan, Lewis Hamilton, Jeter, and Brady, right? You see these. Why did these athletes do that, if you think about it, in today's day and age?
They're all part of the Illuminati.
Yes, it's probably that. But they're all cross-marketing, cross-branding, right? Because Lewis Hamilton's fans, they might know about Brady. They might not, but they probably don't follow him, and vice versa.
No, they know each other.
They know.
They both live in the same building in New York, Hamilton and Brady.
Fans, they're fans, like
Okay.
the followers. So the way that you build up fans is Julio goes and hangs out with Mookie Betts, with Trout, and the league should create opportunities for these guys to co-market, co-brand, where Mookie Betts' fans now become fans of Julio. And I think the league misses a ton of opportunities to do this co-branding. And it's another example when you said, this is the first time I'm seeing him. This is the young star of the game. Tatis has been injured. Yeah. Mookie is
he's one of the young stars, definitely.
Mookie at one point when he went to the Dodgers was considered like the best player in the game behind Trout, but probably more marketable than Trout. And this, you're not going to market your young star with your prize star. It's a miss.
You know what's weird about it? And I think, you make the point over and over again, and I don't want to get into the whole baseball's dying thing because you really never got more backlash than that. But I've actually thought about it. Well, maybe LeBron doesn't make his team better. They got some backlash for that one too.
Dude, you're good at this. It's no secret. Those, and you know that they come from a place of not to piss people off.
Well,
Really
and let me
thinking
tell
about
you why I thought about the baseball thing a little bit more, and here's what I'm going to tell you. What I've said in the last couple episodes about my investing strategy with cards actually applies to what you're saying about baseball. Not that it's stupid, not that the players should have more time to go out and meet fans. When was the last time I was going to get an ice cream and ran into a player from the Giants? It doesn't happen. Right? The last time I saw a player, I came home from school early last week. My mother was there. She was all flustered, and Zach Wilson came running out of the bedroom. It was weird. So anyway, so you're allowed. So anyway, right? So here's the baseball. You didn't know where I was going. Right? So anyway, so baseball, right? Part of why people go nuts to invest in basketball and football and these cards is because the people they're investing in, they are front and center, no matter what, no matter when, right? If you want to invest in Josh Allen, right? You tune in on Sunday, you know Josh Allen is going to be the one making plays, right? He's going to be there. You watch a Bills game, it's Josh Allen taking a snap, throwing a ball. He's going to be there. If it's a close game, great. He's going to be the one, with the 2-minute drill. If it's not a close game, it's because he's the one who threw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Right?
Guaranteed impact.
Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, all these people that invest in those. Basketball, whether you're investing in Darius Garland, who had a great impact last year, or LeBron, up to down, however you want to do it, right? There's only 5 guys from a team, 1 star basically for each one, right? You want Tatum, Tatum's going to have the ball. He's going to play 38 minutes, and he's going to be there at crunch time. You want to invest in Luka. Luka's on the top, whoever it might be. Baseball is not that way, right? If I take my kids to the game and they say, I want Aaron Judge, first of all, Judge might not be playing, sort of like Kawhi. Second of all, even if he is playing, he is not going to be the focal point. He's less the focal point than anyone else, right? It's even. Everybody gets the same at-bats. There's 9 players. They go in lineup. Then boom, 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 boom. He's going to get his 3 at-bats, 4 at-bats, 5 at-bats. He might miss the ball. He might hit the ball. You don't know whether or not he's going to be the star. You'd like to hope because he's, awesome and front runner for the MVP that he would, but he's not going to be able to get up there and be at bat more often than everybody else to keep people's entertained, keep people's energy, the whole deal. Even Ohtani, which sort of bucks the trend because he's pitching, you only pitch once every 5 games. So
that's 1 out of 9. I agree.
Even that it's a difficult thing, and I think that is more of the issue with trying to make baseball investable or try to make baseball where people put their card money now. I do think that changes, right? Because baseball does have more history than these other sports do. Baseball does have that like Americana aspect, which is why I think baseball vintage usually does better than the other vintage. You got more people looking for Mantle and Ruth and Ty Cobb and, other baseball guys than you do looking for Wilt or Mikan or Johnny Unitas. I mean, you're like the only person I know who wants to buy Johnny Unitas. It's crazy. And you're smart to do it. Catch on. But the point is, baseball doesn't have what the other sports have for modern investment, for modern money coming in, because people can't invest in baseball sort of like fantasy the way that they can in football and in basketball. So I was thinking about your statement about it from a cardboard relevance perspective. And I understand where you're going. You know what I mean? And the next part of that conversation, maybe for after national, or maybe when you become the actual commissioner of baseball, is how do you make baseball more like that? Do you have less players? Like, do you not have 9 people at bat? Right? Do you a game goes 6 innings, and in the 7th inning, you do penalty kicks, and it's like, here's our 3 guys. They're going to get up 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Day off, kind of home run derby or like fun stuff during that day off, and then media on that day. Podcasts. I'm incentivized and maybe even sponsor some personalities like maybe like David Ortiz, Pedro Ramirez, get them to start a podcast and get players on that show.
I mean, listen, I'm with you on that. If
who are some personalities? Who are some baseball?
I mean, Pedro Ramirez is one of my favorites.
Pedro Martinez and Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz.
I mean, you clearly are a Red Sox fan and don't even realize it.
Aaron Reynolds,
No.
Ben Zobrist. Dude,
I like Ben
Reynolds.
Zobrist. He was awesome. An unappreciated player. An unappreciated player, Ben Zobrist.
Here's one. You have Kyle Schwarber join Thick Boys for a show.
I mean, that would probably help their brand. So, here you go. You ready? Kyle Schwarber. That dude, he talk about
It will fit though,
underperforming.
right? Thick Boys for a show. Makes sense.
Bob the Hammer Hamlin is a thick boy. You look him up. That is where you go. That guy held the record for the most home runs hit by a Royal for a very long time. Bob
Real
the
tough.
Hammer.
Okay, I'm tired of baseball. Okay, let's talk.
Yeah, I know. Pedro Ramirez. is
I
coming
wanted to
save
talk
the day.
about. We did a post and we polled our audience, and it was like, "What's the best Prism set?" And you guys voted. You could see the results. Luca Tiger LeBron podcast on Instagram. Really awesome post. But since you brought this up, you're going to be on a panel Saturday. Talking
What was the vote? What was the result?
2014 was the most popular.
I couldn't pick
Design.
2014 out of a lineup.
2014 is the sickest design. Here,
I don't even know what it looks like.
this one. It's definitely the nicest design. I don't even think it's close. It's a nice design. Why do you look like that? Stop doing that.
I mean, I guess it's because the color parallels are the entire card bleed, maybe. You get more of it, maybe, instead of just like borders.
It's
That's part of it.
creative. It's actually a card that's designed. Dude, the last 4 years, Prism's been like, this is not a design card. This is just a player on a frame. This is not a design.
I don't see much difference between those, except that that's going to have a border that gets colored
What are you
parallels instead of the
talking
whole
about,
card.
dude? Look at how the player pops off the screen. Look at, oh, hey.
So you just like that only got a border on one edge.
Okay.
And you think like a borderless card? I mean, obviously, I'm in the minority here because, I mean, people voted. And people voted for the 2014 as the set.
like, where's the originality?
I like the 18. 18's clean. What came in second?
18.
I'm with you guys. And 2012. I like 2012 too.
No, 18 is, 12 is iconic, followed by 18 because I think Luca kind of blew up the hobby and caused a lot of demand. But aesthetically, I think 2014. Anyway, it's art. Like, how can you argue about that? But I want to talk about digital.
Yeah.
ETH is up 50%. It was down at $1,000, 1,500. Bitcoin up to 22,000. Doesn't move as much, but still up off of lows.
23 right now.
23. Amazing. The overlap of digital sports collectibles, cryptocurrencies, NFTs. We have a recession. What's floating around in that big brain of yours, Brad? That's
Check out the big brain on Brad.
crypto digital related.
This is a tasty burger. Is this a big kahuna burger? May I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this burger down?
Pulp
So-
Fiction is top 5 on most people's lists. And I got to tell you, aside from the dancing scene, which I think is epic when he stabs her with the needle, I do not think that movie is actually as good as you guys make it out to be. And the scene with Bruce Willis and the big guy weirds me out.
All right. I mean, let's bring out the GIMP. So here you go. What's on my mind? I don't know if this is the way you want me to take it, but it's funny. I was having a conversation yesterday with my wife about the cost of things. And it's a funny way of thinking about stuff, right? Because you kind of brought this up 2 or 3 episodes ago about like, is something worth more now, right? Because if something costs, $1 and it now costs $1.13, shouldn't the cards be worth more? Shouldn't everything be going up value because what you could buy for $1? And she was telling me, oh, we bought this furniture, and I was looking at it because the couch we bought a couple of years ago, which was like $2,000, not even $2,000, like cheap couch, is now like $6,000. And she's like, I would feel bad for anybody who's trying to like furnish their house now. And these chairs that I just bought for this much, they probably would have been half as much. Now, I don't know if this is supply line problems. I don't know if this is, all kinds of COVID stuff, craziness, or shipping containers. I have no idea what's going on or why, but everything costs more. Everything costs more. So it's weird that, that cards are down. I want cards to go up, man. Everything else is going up. So your digital stuff, what do you want to talk about for your digital? It's very interesting. I think we sometimes get stuck in our own little bubble of, hey, cards are down 50% this year. You know what I did today on my train ride in to work? I looked up stock prices. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy some stock, and maybe I'll diversify and put some money in a stock and selling this stuff. I looked at a bunch, right?
Give us a few. Coinbase?
Close. The sector I was looking at actually was credit cards, dividend-paying credit cards, because my thought was if we are going to go through a recession, which people are talking about, usually people will take more credit. People will have more revolving debt on their credit cards, which is usually a good thing for the American Expresses, the Bank of Americas, Visas of the world. And I was looking at Bank of America. And Bank of America in last 6 months is down like 40%. It's like a card. It's like any card you would have bought in January, and it's down 40%. And the bank itself is fiscally solvent, right? I mean, it's doing fine. And you would think that, there's probably, based on the macroeconomic situation, there's probably, good things on the horizon for it, but it's still down. And most things are. Disney's down. A lot of things are down. Crypto was down. So, I mean, every once in a while, I should probably...
12 to 15%, right?
What's 12 to 15%?
Bank of America.
If you go, I think it was 6 months or year to date, it's definitely down like more than that.
Year to date is 28%. 6 months, 27%.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot, I mean, 28, it's like 30% down. Maybe I had a good day today. I mean, but it was definitely, an eye opener.
We talked about the dividend paying stock. I called you the other day. I was like, the one thing with cards that they could never do like stocks, right? Like I was on the Cajun Cardboard show, and, I was like, Cage and you guys have jobs and you get disposable income and you invest. People, who are dealers, they can't hold cards because those cards don't pay dividends, right? You don't cash flow off the cards. Whereas you're looking at stocks that cash flow, right? You let's say you put 100,000 in, has a 3% dividend. Say what you want, you're getting $3,000 at the end of the year.
This is the big question, right? Everybody's been trying to say that this is an alternate asset class and it's similar to stocks, but
similar, not identical, similar.
But there are other asset classes that don't pay dividends. People invest in fine art. People invest in gold, even though there's no dividend on gold, right? They
use gold as collateral, though.
It's
loans out.
And so you can with cards too, right?
Not the same percentage.
Correct. How about fine art?
I don't know that industry.
How about real estate?
Card Messiah, Jay.
The difference.
I'm going to meet that guy at National. He is a personality. He knows more about art.
The difference with real estate, of course, is you can call it a dividend if you rent it out, but, rental income and stuff like that. But the point here, I think, that you're trying to make is that, cards don't allow you to just, okay, I can hold this and it's going to spin off 2 or 3 or 5% a year while the price, appreciates or goes down or whatever it might be.
Well, think about why that matters in a non-mathematical, but let's just tap into emotion psychology. What are our 6 human needs, right? Remember certainty and uncertainty? I beat these down. When there's a recession and prices are going up, there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty. Cash flow gives you at least a bit of certainty, right? It gives you a dividend, gives you at least a little bit of certainty. So it actually taps into that psychological need of a human of like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen with the market tomorrow, but at least I know that I'm getting X. And whether that's with a rental property, you're getting $2,000 a month rent, or a dividend paying stock, I don't know if it alleviates anything, but it gives you peace of mind.
But I mean, listen, who says cards are supposed to be paying you a dividend? Who says cards are supposed to be an area where people are supposed to be making money on?
I mean, here's what I'll say. No one says anything, but there are people who want to make money in cards. And I think it's naive to say, no, you can't try.
No one's saying
that. We discuss ways and opportunities how you can make money in cards, stocks, alternate assets, crypto, NFTs. That's what the show's about. We discuss ways.
But it's not about naive. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you can't make money in cards. Obviously, people do it. But this is a new phenomenon. It's a new way of thinking, right? And it has shifted already just in the time of our show, right? Sure, there are people who make money in cards. There are dealers who buy and sell cards. I mean, Leighton's a great example, right? Leighton Sheldon, right? You know, he knows his area. He buys collections. He sells them parts. He does breaks. He does all that stuff. People who have card stores, you know, Card Collector 2, or you know, people who have Burbank. I mean, these guys that, you know, they've been around for a long time and they have stores and they sell wax and they do this stuff. But for the last couple of years, there have been an influx of people who said, I'm going to buy a card and sell a card. And I'm going to do it over and over again. I'm going to buy a card and I'm going to resell that card. And part of why I get concerned is, you know, just your line of thinking. Cards don't pay dividends. Okay. Neither does this T-shirt. I don't get it. I don't understand why. When would cards ever pay a dividend, and why should they? And that's the question we should be asking.
I'm not sure that I said that cards should pay dividends. I think it was in a bigger conversation.
It was that Cajun Cardboard and myself, because we're lawyers, have money to spend on cards because we have a job. And you think that people shouldn't have jobs. Their job should be cards, and their cards should pay them a wage and health insurance. No, is that
guys? What's hard about this show is sometimes I get a little too relaxed and I lean back in this chair, and then it gets combative because Paige takes 6 conversations, cuts them into little pieces, mashes them back together, and uses something that was said on Wednesday mixed with something that was said on Friday, completely different.
It's done. Well, listen, I guess it's a little bit of caution, right? Because we have all kinds of stuff going on in the market, and you know what? I don't know what the hell's going to happen. Maybe just like, you know, people were calling for the death of crypto, and if you would have bought, ETH at $850 and it's now at $1,500, you'd be sitting pretty, right? Those people who were saying it was dead, they were wrong, right? Maybe cards will have a quick and swift rebound the same way. Who knows? And everybody who sold cheap like me, you know, oh man, you know, I shouldn't have sold my stuff. I shouldn't have sold my Scoring Kings, or I shouldn't have sold my PMG that nobody really wants because it's a fake PMG. It's not the one everybody collects. Maybe I should have held on to it, because now the person who bought it might sell it for double. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'll give you my projection. It's funny how elections and politics affects economies, and I've only learned that a little bit more as I got older, because I very much don't understand politics. I don't, not that I don't understand it, like why I don't understand fundamentally why it exists. It doesn't make sense. These popularity contests are so at ends to what the people who are electing should actually do. So they're just servants that work for us as the taxpayers that are meant to make the economy better. But it's more than that. And can you believe that we're less than 2 years into the presidency? Why I say that is, I think there's going to be a second downturn in September, October, November, because it's like this weird thing. Like sometimes you have to, how do I word this?
I don't know, but I can't wait to hear it. This is a diamond. This is like a gold nugget coming.
If you starve someone,
starve someone, and they're walking in the desert, and you throw them a cracker, they're going to say, oh, that's the best damn cracker I ever had. What was that, a saltine? Eddie Murphy. Is that right?
That's it. So sometimes you have to starve a country, a people, an animal. And then you are the lifeline with the other hand that says hair. And I think 2023 is going to be that. And then at the end, you know, September, October, November of that year, you're like, hey, vote for us again, because we gave you that cracker and we'll give you more of them.
Interesting. Is that Fanatics?
No, that's the Democrat.
Is Fanatics standing at the
end?
No,
that's the Democrat. That's the. I don't
this reception with crackers. Do they have crackers? Do they have PSA 9 Zions for all of us?
I mean, if I can sell them on their website, for sure. No, but like, and I don't mean that from a political standpoint. I mean that from more of an observational standpoint. I could be 1,000%.
All right. So you just told me what the show is about. It's about finding a way to talk about alternate assets and the whole 9 yards. So, action plan. You think that this is happening. How do we prepare for not having crackers until somebody provides us one cracker in 2023?
One, in my personal opinion, this will be a little bit more prolonged, challenging time, but I use challenging in a different way because they scare people so much saying recession, inflation, all that stuff. It's actually an amazing time to build your own brand. Now, I don't mean online brand. It's an amazing time to invest in yourself. It's an amazing time to save money. It's an amazing time to take chances and learn different ways to get cash flow. Right?
So you're telling people to go buy the Breaking Tea NFT for $5. Take a chance. Is that it? By the way, we're not sponsored by those guys at all. It's just something that I saw before the show.
No, more like let's say you're good at something, whether that's listing items on eBay, something very niche, graphic design. What I would start doing is taking on clients and getting paid for what I'm good at. You could still keep your main job, all that stuff, but build a skill, build a service-oriented skill that pays you cash for providing a service that you're good at. Now you're taking no risk. You're building up your skill set, and at a later date, not only are you building a client base you could monetize, you're protecting yourself. You're building a cushion because if something doesn't work out, you already have this skill set on the side that you've honed. And believe it or not, we have more skills than
Give me an example. Give me an example of something somebody can do now, and they're not that good at it, but they're going to get better at it and learn to do it as they're adding clients who will pay them to do it, even though they're learning how to do it.
I'll give you an example. Heroes for Sale. Incredible writer. He could go to Boardroom. He could go to Luca Nation. He could go to PWCC. He could go to Card Ladder. He could go to PSA, go to SGC and say, hey, guys, I could do guest written articles for you guys once a month. Okay, now he builds his client base. Maybe he doesn't even get paid for it for 6 to 12 months.
The Gary Vee model. I like it.
It's annoying that that's called the Gary Vee model because it's not the Gary Vee model. It's
the Andrew G model.
It's the apprentice model. It's the Socrates Plato model. It's that same. It's apprenticeship. It's in difficult times, find mentors and add value to them. And mentors could be a business organization, add value and build skills. So they give you an opportunity. They're worried about their bottom line. So right now they want to cut costs, but they still need a service.
Only one thing I'm going to change that.
Please.
I believe it's pronounced Socrates.
It's the apprenticeship model.
No?
I'll give you another example.
Socrates.
Let's say a Mikey Polak did a really cool job with that interview. He went, so go to a coffee shop that's struggling on restaurant and says, hey, I know you guys are struggling. You don't have to hire me, but give me a percentage of sales. What I'm going to do is I'm going to market the hell out of your restaurant. No, listen.
I'm listening.
I'm going to market the hell out of this restaurant. I'm going to go door to door to door, and we're going to build a catering business on top of your restaurant. So the office is around here. Everyone that orders and says that you've been referred by Michael, give me 5%.
Everybody who's listening to this, who's over the age of 35, thinks you're insane. Everybody who's under the age of 30 thinks I should do this. That's a weird thing that I will never
What about
understand.
the people that are my age, 30 to 35?
We're
we're blazing. We're in the middle.
You're just smoking, and you don't know which side to go on yet. But I'm telling the youngest, I'm going to do this. And you're going to have some lunatic walk into a diner and be like, hey, my name's George. I'm going to market the hell out of this place because Goldberg told me to. And you're going to give me 5% of the sales. You know what's going to happen? A person's probably going to get arrested, maybe sent to a loony bin. A person is going to the insane asylum. But you're like, yeah, I got some life advice for you. Go to your local store and tell them, I'm going to market the shit out of this place for you. Boom. Because
You're right.
Me. I mean, it would be interesting.
Guys, there's a recession. Inflation is through the roof. Eggs are now $6. Bread is $12. Roll over and die.
Not about that. I mean, but I you know what? I'm going to leave it for this, guys. Here's a challenge. Anybody who goes to a local business and tries this method, please send us a message and let us know.
Too. You could be like,
okay,
hey,
even better.
I'm a graphic designer. And here's a few. I took a look at your brand. Here's a few things I would do for it. I've already done a few mock-ups. I'd love to work with you.
I like that. I like
And
it.
I'll explain what I was thinking about this today. Sometimes I think our industry is at odd ends with their collectors are at odd ends with investors. Investors are at odd ends with breakers. Breakers are at odd ends with flippers. I think it's because you have to be nimble. Sometimes in this industry, collectors are the ones winning. Sometimes breakers are the ones winning. Sometimes investors, sometimes flippers. But I think
investors, possibly you.
You're on fire this episode. So cracked.
So great. It's good, man. I mean, I get it. So they don't have to be at odds because sometimes they win, sometimes the collectors are advanced, sometimes the breakers are in the lead. That's what makes the hobby a little bit fun. And I'm having fun with it, obviously. Some of the stuff you said is absolutely bonkers, but some of it makes sense. And that's a good episode. Okay? If we go.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So, as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.